Lithium-ion EV battery fires are incredibly dangerous anywhere, but nowhere more than on an aircraft or a ship at sea. Because of the chemical nature of the fires, they burn at extremely high temperatures, up to 2,500 degrees Celsius, that's 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is enough to melt through the steel structure of a vessel. Not only that, but they burn with incredible intensity, with burning jets of high-pressure gas acting like a blowtorch to anything or anyone nearby, and can continue burning for an extremely long time. They're also remarkably difficult to extinguish with normal methods, and once the fire spreads, they can be almost impossible to contain. So it's not surprising that when a lithium-ion EV battery catches fire on a ship, the results can be catastrophic, as was the case with the Felicity Ace, which was carrying a cargo of nearly 4,000 luxury cars and caught fire and sank in February 2022. Now the owners of the ship and the insurers are taking Porsche to court for the loss of the ship and its cargo. Ouch. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer turned Sydney YouTuber. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter X. According to Car Expert, the ship was carrying some incredible cars, including 20 Lamborghini Huracans, 15 final edition Ultime Lamborghini Aventadors, which the factory has committed to remaking even though the production line had been closed down, and 50 Urus SUVs. There were also 1,194 Audis, including over 100 e-trons and 190 Bentleys, which accounts for nearly 10% of all Bentley sales in the USA. Porsche lost 1,117 cars, including Cayennes, Panameras and Macans, and Volkswagen saw 523 vehicles lost to the depth of the ocean. However, it was apparently an electrified Porsche which caught fire and sent the entire cargo to the sea floor. And Porsche's parent company Volkswagen is now in court. Volkswagen faces pair of lawsuits over claim Porsche EV battery sparked ship fire. Carmaker sued by MGUY Australia over 2022 incident at sea. Suit claims fire originated from a Porsche lithium-ion battery. Volkswagen AG faces a pair of lawsuits in Germany over claims it was the battery in a Porsche electric vehicle that triggered the 2022 fire on board a massive cargo ship that eventually sank with thousands of cars on board. One of the suits was filed in a court in Stuttgart, where VW's Porsche unit is based. The case was brought by half a dozen plaintiffs, including Mitsui OSK Lines Limited, the ship's operator, and Allianz SE, one of the insurers of the vessel, according to a spokesman for the tribunal. The Panama-flagged Felicity Ace caught fire near the Azores archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean 2 years ago and was left adrift after the crew was rescued. An internal email from VW's US operations at the time revealed there were 3,965 vehicles aboard the ship. The cargo ship's loss could have cost the automaker at least $155 million, according to a risk modelling company's estimate. The plaintiffs claim that the fire originated from the lithium-ion battery of a Porsche model and allege VW failed to inform them of the danger and necessary precautions needed to transport such vehicles, according to the Stuttgart court. Although the case was filed a year ago, the judges haven't yet looked into the merits of the suit, as the parties have been quarrelling about the amount of collateral that must be posted before it can proceed. The bigger issue this raises is whether EVs should be allowed on board ships at all. A number of ferry companies have banned EVs from travelling on their ships for fear of a lithium-ion battery fire, and the cost of installing appropriate fire suppression equipment in these ships is just not worth the cost. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority issued a safety alert in February of 2023, which sets out the requirements for carrying battery electric vehicles, and they are extremely onerous and expensive, with no less than 12 individual considerations. Here are just a few. 4. The BEVs should be stowed on the vessel to allow the crew direct access to the vehicles, so they can respond quickly and effectively in an emergency. 5. BEVs should be stowed in designated areas that are away from machinery spaces, emergency equipment, dangerous goods, and passengers, including egress routes and muster points for passengers. 6. The location for designated areas on board for BEVs should also consider access for fire and emergency services from shore and the ability to evacuate the vessel when alongside. 7. Operators of vessels that have enclosed or partially enclosed vehicle decks should consider stowage of BEVs, taking into account the risks of toxic and potentially explosive gases released during fires. Operators should consider not stowing BEVs on enclosed or partially enclosed vehicle decks unless the vessel is fitted with a water drenching system to help control fires in these areas. 8. The master should manoeuvre the vessel to control the flow of smoke and gases from the BEV fire away from passengers and crew. The smoke and gases are both toxic and potentially flammable. It's understandable that cargo ships and ferries would not want the expense and inconvenience of having to deal with these requirements, and the easiest thing to do is just ban EVs altogether. But there may come a time when that option is not available, if and when we're all forced to drive EVs, and so it will mean everything will become more expensive as cargo and ferry companies pass on these costs to customers. I hope that time never comes. But it goes to show how dangerous and intense a lithium-ion battery fire can be. It can not only destroy a private house, but it can sink an entire cargo ship.